Hi, welcome to Nina in the Kitchen. Today I'm honoring a request for something called Zeppole. Zeppole is an Italian-American treat. It's street food. If you go to an Italian fair, you may see it. And it's so delicious because it comes out like a donut, but it's not very sweet. It's airy and just a lovely dough and very, very simple to make. Here we go. This is 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That is 320 grams. And I'm going in with 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. That's 1 envelope of yeast. This is an instant yeast, which is nice because you can just put it right into your dry mix. Just mix it in there. 1 teaspoon of salt, that's kosher salt. Mix that up. This is 2 cups of water. Now, the way that you want this dough, if you think about it, 2 cups of water to 2.5 cups of flour, that is a very wet dough. And that's what you want. Let me tell you about Zeppole. What I'm making in Italy is actually served, I believe, sweet, but also served as a savory snack. And it's called Fritto di Vento. And what that means is fried wind. Sounds odd, but that gives you the idea of how light this should be. This batter is still a little too wet. I'm going to go in with just a little more flour. That was maybe 2 tablespoons. And I want to show you what the dough should look like. Now, this is really rather runny, but what you want to do is get in there. You can use a machine for this. It's so easy. It's such a light batter that I'm just doing it by hand. But you want to develop the gluten because you want this in the end to be very airy and light so that you have gluten strands that will hold that structure. So all that you do is you just beat it. It doesn't take very long. It's sort of like a ribbon stage. Get it there. I'm just going to cover this and come back in about an hour when this is doubled in bulk and we'll be ready to fry. We are ready to fry. Now, a couple of things. One thing is that this dough is very forgiving. If you want to make this for a party and you don't quite know when you're going to start frying, what you can do is knock this down. If it gets too big, just knock it down. It will puff up again and it will be fabulous. Don't even worry about it. You can also park it in the refrigerator for a couple of days. It will grow and bubble and get swampy looking. Take it out, bring it to room temp, and then proceed. The setup that I have is, here's vegetable oil, and I want this at about 380 degrees. So I have a candy thermometer in here to watch for that. That's 190 Celsius. I have my dough, which as you can see was covered and is rather swampy looking. And you can see I knocked it down once, but it's getting bubbly and we did a test piece and it looks great. This is an inverted jelly roll pan or sheet pan. And on that I have a towel, paper towel, and then an inverted cookie rack. With doing an inverted cookie sheet, what happens is that the fat is wicked away, but because your product isn't sitting on a towel, it's not getting soft. It'll stay nice and crisp. And then this is what I'm using to move the dough around with. So here we go. I'm going to take the spoon and dip it in here just to grease the spoon up a little bit so that it doesn't get too sticky when I get this dough out. And then you don't want the dough to be round. A round zeppole is not a good zeppole. Don't crowd the pan. I'm going to do 3 on here, and I think that's good enough. And just keep an eye on it. When you put something in a fryer, you will see that immediately there's a lot of bubbles and excitement going on. And then it kind of slows down, and that tells you that it's time to flip. You want this golden brown on one side, and you'll see the difference between this fry, which is what I'm calling excited, and this one, which is ready to flip. But that's how you know it's ready. Your food will tell you. You see how nice and puffy that looks? Beautiful. So if you wanted to do something like the Fritto di Vento, what you can do is mix savory items in here. It could be seafood. What's traditional is fresh anchovies, which are hard to get in the States. Seaweed, you could use that. You can do edible flowers. You could do vegetables. You could do whatever you like. And just when they come out, just add a little salt to them. What we're doing here is the street food. So I'm going to put powdered sugar on this when this comes out. And I would say they're done. And you just take your powdered sugar, and that is Zeppole. Big, bubbly, fried dough. Universal appeal, right? Everyone loves this stuff. And every culture has a fried dough product. Well, here are the Zeppole. There's really nothing else to show you. You saw how to make them. You saw that they get powdered. The powdered sugar will disappear, and you want to flip them and powder both sides. But my husband's really anxious to dig into these, so I think I'm going to just close the show now by telling you that whether you have these as a sweet treat or as a savory appetizer, these are really a great crowd pleaser, and I think you're going to really love them. It's a really great, simple dessert to make. I hope you try this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.